Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have attacked Mark Zuckerberg's free speech policy on Facebook, saying this should deeply concern us all. Nope, as far as I'm concerned, it only concerns Megxie and Hazza, and I wonder why are they afraid of free speech? What have they got to hide? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because Megxie and Hazza are on the attack against Mark Zuckerberg's free speech policy on Facebook. And here's the headline here from GB Statement saying that this should deeply concern us all. Now, just to give you a little bit of background of what's going on here. Essentially, Mark Zuckerberg, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, has done an absolute 360, a U-turn on the free speech policy that he has on Facebook and Meta. And last week, he actually announced major changes, saying that they're going to eliminate fact checkers, have something similar to X in terms of community notes, simplified content policies, removing certain restrictions on topics like immigration and gender, changing enforcement approach for policy violations. He says he's planning to work with President-elect Donald Trump to oppose global censorship pressures, making claims such as Europe's ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship, secret courts in Latin America that can order companies to quietly take things down, and also fighting against Chinese censorship. And so when you read this in full and you look at like the headlines of it all, what Mark Zuckerberg is proposing here in terms of strengthening free speech on his platforms, on Meta, on Facebook and whatnot, it's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm all for free speech. Let's get it done, right? Do you know who's not for free speech, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever? Hazza and Megxie. And they have made this absolute ridiculous statement on Sussex.com, all right, saying fact-checking Meta, saying it doesn't matter whether your views are left, right, or somewhere in between. The latest news from Meta about changes to their policies directly undermines free speech. This should deeply concern us all. No, as far as I'm concerned, you look at the overview of what Mark Zuckerberg is wanting to do in terms of overhauling free speech policy on Facebook and whatnot, making it even easier for free speech. And no, it's not undermining free speech whatsoever. But what it is undermining is the speech that Megxie and Hazza want out there. And there's this really, really insidious kind of dark situation that's underlying this whole lot. And stay tuned for the rest of this video because I'm going to expose that in a few moments. But here they say, contrary to the company's talking points, allowing more ABUSE and normalizing hate speech serves to silence people and expression, not foster it. The thing is, though, they're putting words in Mark Zuckerberg's mouth there. Not once is Mark Zuckerberg turning around and saying, yay, we're for all ABUSE and hate speech, this, that, and the other. Let it run rampant. He's not saying that. But Megxie and Hazza right here, as far as I'm concerned, are trying to fearmonger us all. Ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. In an already confusing and in many instances intentionally disruptive information environment. Oh no. Disruptive information environment. In other words, unless you speak really, really nice about us and you prop us up, it's all disruptive information. Meta has shown their words and commitments have very little meaning or integrity. No. Megxie and Hazza have shown, as far as I'm concerned, that their words and commitments have very little meaning or integrity. Look in the mirror, guys. As they announce these changes undoubtedly responding to political wins, they once again abandon public safety in favour of profit, chaos and control. Here we go again. More fear-mongering. Putting words in Mark Zuckerberg's mouth. That's not what this is. The company's decision to roll back protections is so far away from its stated values and commitments to its users, including the parents and families calling for change around the globe, that is now deeply deceptive. Now here, they're trying to emotionally manipulate us, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. Again, not going to work. They then explain millions of people using Meta platforms in the US, hundreds of millions more using them globally. Many use the platform to spread joy, build community, share empowering information, the right information, by the standards of Megxi and Hazza. Unfortunately, Meta's recent decisions go directly against its stated mission to build human connection and instead prioritise those using the platforms to spread hate, lies and division at the expense of everyone else. This is the thing, right? They're putting words in Mark Zuckerberg's mouth and they're not giving this whole U-turn on his free speech policy on Facebook and whatnot an actual chance. They're assuming this is going to happen. It may not. It may not. Given the profound global impact Meta's decisions have on the world, of which many are still recovering from, are actively suffering from, again, more emotional manipulation here as far as I'm concerned. The politics of one country should never determine whether freedom of expression and civil and human rights are protected in the online spaces so clearly shaping or destroying democracy. What? At the end of the day, Meta and Facebook are based in the US. Therefore, primarily, I would assume, are beholden to US law. What? Why? As far as I'm concerned, why hasn't Megxi talking shit here? Online spaces must be designed with public safety and well-being at their core. Blah, 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 blah. To ignore this is not only putting everyone in harm's way and contributing to a global mental health crisis. Again, more emotional manipulation. More, as far as I'm concerned, misinformation from Hazza and Megxi, because, again, they are assuming that this is all going to happen when the free speech policy really hasn't been enacted yet. We don't know. Oh, we urge Meta to reconsider and reinstate policies to protect all users. Yeah, like Mark Zuckerberg is going to be listening to these two jokers, right? This is insane. And so, this is the thing, right? Hazza and Megxi, they're demonising Mark Zuckerberg's free speech policy on Facebook and his complete U-turn. They're demonising it. They are trying to, as far as I'm concerned, emotionally manipulate us. They're also dabbling, as far as I'm concerned, in misinformation and scaremongering tactics themselves when you read this whole thing, right? Which is really all the same. Scaremongering, emotional manipulation, misinformation. It's littered all around this statement of theirs, right, as far as I'm concerned. But as I said earlier on, there is this hidden, underlying, insidious kind of dark reason as to why Megxi and Hazza are now attacking, as far as I'm concerned, Mark Zuckerberg's free speech policy on Facebook. What am I talking about here? Well, for those that don't know, there's something called the Aspen Institute, and there's a commission on information disorder. And there are 3 co-chairs, 13 commissioners, representing key perspectives drawn from government, research and academia, civil society, public service and private industry. Guess who is on the Commission on Information Disorder? You may have just noticed the ginger whinger in the picture below there. Oh yeah. Hazza himself is a member of the Aspen Commission on Information Disorder. A group of between 13 and 16 people that are actively, as far as I'm concerned, in an insidious and evil way, trying to control free speech globally. This all should be sending shivers down your spine right now. This is insane. Now, only a few months into Prince Hazza joining this commission, this was released on their Archewell Foundation page. Prince Harry and Aspen Commission colleagues released much anticipated report on the misinformation crisis. Again, you see a pattern here. Fear-mongering, scaremongering, emotional manipulation. misinformation, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, which is rich coming from these guys, right? And so, yeah, they released a report on tackling the growing mis and disinformation problem in technology, media, and social media. This is insane. What's even more crazier is if you heard a rumour, right, that Prince Harry had turned around and said that he thinks that the First Amendment is bonkers, which is the right to free speech in America. Oh no, that's not a rumour. That is actually freaking true. Hazza called the First Amendment bonkers. And this was back in May 2021, around about the same time that this doofus joined that commission at the Aspen Institute. So he was speaking to actor Dax Shepard on the Armchair Expert podcast, saying, I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment as I sort of understand it, but it is bonkers. So when I show you this underlying, insidious, very dangerous kind of undertone and situation that Megxie and Hazza are in when it comes to this whole involvement with the Aspen Institute, and Hazza literally turning around, he ain't even American, right? A foreign prince turning around to all you Americans saying that the First Amendment is bonkers. I'm actually shocked you guys didn't get your pitchforks and torches and run him out of the country, really, at that point. I'm surprised you guys didn't do that. By the way, that's a joke. Just saying, all right? Before anyone actually takes that seriously. But you see all that. You see the background. You see this underlying insidious nature of Megxie and Hazza. And this whole involvement with the Aspen Institute that they've got themselves in, right? And then you see them do this and attack Mark Zuckerberg's free speech policy on Facebook. I asked at the beginning of this video, I wonder why they're afraid of free speech. What have they got to hide? Why are they, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, trying to silence us, not only in America, but on a global scale? Trying to use whatever influence they've got to try and emotionally manipulate, scaremonger, and as far as I'm concerned, spread misinformation to try and somehow force Mark Zuckerberg's hand and retreat on what he announced last week in terms of his free speech policy on Facebook. This is scary, and we need to fight back against anyone that tries to silence us, that tries to coerce, that tries to limit free speech. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more. You do not want to miss my next video. Megxie has been slammed as a disaster tourist after the LA fire PR disaster. Oh, someone's got some very, very strong words for Megxie and Hazza. So if you don't want to miss that video or any of my other future videos, and I bet you don't, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. And until the next time, you guys, laters.